would share with you some of my plants that I've been planting. Right here, I planted a bunch of wildflower seeds in styrofoam cups. And those are doing really great. I labeled each one so I know what they are. For example, this one is Black-Eyed Susan. Look at all those in there. I wonder what this one is. This one says it is FW. That stands for fire wheel. A fire wheel. So these are my wildflower seeds that I have going. Right here is my nasturtium plant that I saved from last year in the garden in the summer. And look at it. It's had such a great time this winter in here. And it is growing and it is like, I am ready to go outside. I want to go outside for the summer. Just like us. And that is a little curry plant that I really love. Here I have some things starting. This is my lemon cucumber plant with some lettuce. I have some dill. Notice I planted it in the half of a milk carton. And some flowers from last year. And I planted some zinnia here. And my geraniums. And this is the one I really wanted to show you all the way back here. Look at all my tomatoes that are growing. These are tomato plants that I planted from last year's tomatoes. So what I did was I put a tomato, I took some of the old tomatoes from leftover from the plant and I put them in the dirt, and then all those tomatoes grew. That's kind of what we're gonna do today. Here's a tomato that I had in my kitchen, and it's a little bit soft, and I thought this would be a perfect tomato to cut up and start planting and make it grow into a tomato plant. So a lot of times we think, oh, we can't have a garden because I didn't get the seeds, I don't have my dirt, I don't have the right kind of pots, and all this stuff. But you can actually just take some of your food that has seeds in it and start growing something from it. So I'm using a tomato. You could use a zucchini, you could use a cucumber, you could use a pepper, you could even try an orange and a lemon. You could try all kinds of things that have seeds in them and see what happens. It's kind of a fun experiment. And part of what's fun about trying this with just planting part of the fruit into your dirt right away is that the fruit is designed to kind of give the seeds some nutrients on its own. I grew the tomatoes right from, they were little cherry tomatoes, and I just put them in the dirt and they've been doing so good. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do though is I'm going to show you how to make your own pot from what you have around the house. I bet you have some paper bags around, so I'm going to show you how to make some seedling pots from paper bags. So the first thing you need are some scissors. I cut my bag down like that, right there. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut out the bottom. Cutting out the bottom of the bag. So fun, cutting out a bag. I'm having so much fun right now. Okay, I've done that. Then what I do is I'm going to make, this is enough to make 4 seedling pots out of. So I'm just going to make one, and then you can make as many as you want. You could start a huge garden from 1 tomato and 1 paper bag. You could like start a whole business. You could like grow all these different tomatoes and like sell them to your neighbors. You could make salsa. You could get some basil going. You could make some pasta sauce. Yeah, you could do all kinds of things. That's what's so fun about growing your own vegetables. Okay, so I folded it in half. The reason why I folded it in half, because then it's really easy just to cut along that line, and then you know you're getting a perfectly half thing. So let me cut there. windy. Hopefully it won't get blown away. That would be fun. That would be an adventure. Okay, so then, like I said, you fold it in half, and there might be already a fold right there in that paper bag. So you can just cut along there. So look at that. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. You can start 3 or 4. I can't count. Hello. You're good to go. You got 4 ready to go. I'm gonna show you how to make it. So you want to get a little jar, like a little jam jar. A little jar for helping you make it. Strawberry jam. So what you do is you take this jar and you put it on the edge like this. I'm going to roll it like this. And notice that I have a lot on the end there. Right? So here's the end of my jar and I have a lot on the bottom. Okay? Then you just roll it along there. That's why you use the jar. So that you can just roll it along. Cool. And then you have some space, so you can stick your hand in there and you can hit the bottom of the jar. Then place it on the table and then start pressing down over, like kind of like you're wrapping a present. And you press it down like that. And then you want to pull it up just a little bit. So you kind of pull it up a little. And then you kind of, what I call crimping. So you just kind of crimp around so that it stays. So you kind of pull it up and crimp it. Can you guys see how I'm doing that? I like just pinch it along the edge of the jar, right? And then it just kind of makes the bottom stay a little bit better. Then you take the jar out and then you've got the shape of your. Then the top, you just need to go like this and fold over the top a little bit. So I'm just folding them over. It's okay if it rips a little. It's no big deal. It's going to go in the ground. So why are we using a paper bag? You are asking me. And the reason is that what you can do is you can start your seed in this paper bag and then you can plant it in the ground and it's going to biodegrade. I have my little pot. Da, 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 little pot. You can plant this whole thing into the ground. Okay, the next thing you need is some dirt. Where do I find dirt, you say? Now, you're like, well, I don't have any dirt. Well, there's dirt all over. You can go dig in the yard. If there's a spot where there's some dirt, just dig up some dirt. Maybe if there's like a little spot, like by a river. Ask your parents before you start digging in the yard, right? But there might be some dirt like left over from last year. If there's an old plant that's not alive anymore outside that has dirt in the pot, you can just take that dirt and use it. Or if you want to spend a little bit of money, you can get some potting soil. I do have some potting soil that I'm going to use. Get a little bag like this of potting soil. And this stuff's really great, but really anything will work. I'm going to take some of my dirt, and I sometimes like to roll it in my hands a little bit so it's a little bit softer in case there's some little, like there's a little piece of stick in there. The reason why they say potting soil is good is because it's a little bit looser, and then it helps, the seed doesn't have to work so hard to push against the dirt, right? So that's the main reason. So I don't know, I think if your seed can like fight through some difficult dirt, then it's gonna be a better plant. So, and then I put my dirt in my little pot. Da, 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 da. And look at how easy this is. So easy. Oh my god. Okay, stick that there. Now, right? Okay, now I'm going to cut up my tomato and put it in there. Tomato. Now this tomato that I'm using was one that was like kind of on its way out. You know, sometimes they get kind of soft and like, I don't know, you just kind of, some people really like them that way. But, so just be careful if you need some supervision to cut things up. But you can plant just like a little bit of the tomato, which is what I did with my little cherry tomatoes, is I kind of cut them up and I put, there's a little bit of the tomato in there, And remember, the fruit is made to nourish the seed so that it can grow another plant. So I don't think there's anything wrong with putting a little bit of your tomato in there. Maybe you could experiment. Some have a lot of tomatoes, some will have a little, see how they work. So I'm going to take just a little bit of this goopiness, and you can kind of see how it has this kind of film around it, and that's going to give it some nourishment. So we're going to just place it in there, and I'm going to kind of move it around so that maybe those seeds separate a little bit. They need a little bit of room to grow. Kind of spread it out. Grow. And that's what's so fun about planting stuff, is like once they start growing, you're like, I can't believe I did that. I can't believe I did that. So amazing. Something that you made, and it's working, it's growing, it's alive. Okay, next. So what do things need to grow? They need water, they need nutrients, which is dirt and the fruit, and sun and water, right? So here's our water. It's a really great idea that when you're working with your new seedlings and growing things from seed, that you have a gentle way of watering. So see all those little holes in there? That makes it so that the water comes out very gently and it doesn't like blast the dirt, because then it can start to kind of hurt the tiny little seeds and their tiny shoots. So you want to have a really gentle way of putting water in there. So I'm going to gently let some water just dribble in here. And I want to let it soak in there. Very good. And then the next thing I like to do is I like to label stuff, because I am very forgetful. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to label on here, whoops, tomato. Oh, it's dripping. That's okay. Tomato plant. And then I might put a date on there just to kind of see how long it takes. So what's today? 4, I don't even remember. 4 something. What did it say? April 25th. April 25th. So it's a really good idea to try and get these seeds going at this time of year, because then once it's time to plant them around mid-May, so in about a month, then you can like kind of take them outside. Tomatoes really like a lot of heat, so you can't plant the seeds outside in Colorado because it's too cold and we don't have a very long growing season. So that's why you want to start them inside. All right, so experiment with that. Remember, you can make 4 whole seedling pots with your paper bag and find some dirt. Go around, ask for dirt, see if anyone has any spare dirt. This cost us no extra money right now, right? Because we use the paper bag that our groceries came in. We use an old jam jar. We use the tomato that we were gonna maybe throw out because it was a little bit soft in the middle, right? But perfect for planting. And some dirt that you can find kind of anywhere. All right, so I hope you will start thinking about what you can plant, and then when we see you next, you can tell us what you've planted and maybe give us some updates on how it's going. All right, happy gardening, everyone. Go around, ask for dirt, see if anyone has any spare dirt.
Tookie. Take my little hoe, dig a hole in the ground. Take my little seed and I plant it down. Tookie tight and low. We'll all dance around and see my little seed grow. Tookie tight and low. Tookie tight and low. tookie, tidal low. Let's all dance around and see my little seed grow. The rain it come, the rain it come, and it washed my ground. I thought my little seed was going to drown. I waited and I splashed and I carried my seed. I planted it again on some higher ground. Tookie, tidal low. Tookie, tidal low. Tookie, tidal low. We'll all dance around and see my little seed grow. The sun got hot and my ground got dry. I thought my little seed would burn and die. I carried some water from a watering mill. I said, little, you can drink your fill. Tookie, tidal low. Tookie, tidal low. Tookie, tidal low. Let's all dance around and see my little seed grow. The snow it blowed and the wind it blew. My little seed it grew and it grew. It grew up a cradle all soft inside, and a baby was sleeping there covered with vines. Tookie, tidal low. Tookie, tidal low. Tookie, tidal low. We'll all dance around and watch my little seed grow. Tookie, tidal low. Tookie, tidal low. Tookie, tidal low. We'll all dance around and see my little seed grow.